Noah, welcome to Silesia. Big meet tomorrow, stacked 100-meter field. You mentioned no comment, but you also mentioned recently that you really like rising to the occasion to racing meets that are important. How important is tomorrow for setting up the rest of your season?
I'd say that it's a good spark. So this is like, okay, I'm getting closer and closer to the competition of the World Championships, but not only that, but the people who are going to be there. So, putting myself next to them, no matter what the occasion, is like very important. Because if you never are comfortable in uncomfortable situations, how do you expect to rise to the occasion?
Yeah. Obviously, the rematch between Kishane and yourself is really highly touted just because of how close it was in the Olympic final. Talk to me about kind of the shape you're in heading into this 100-meter. I mean, you've been focused a little bit more on the 200. We saw that at the trials, but switching back to the 100 now and racing in a really stacked field. How is your performance level? How is your training right now?
The training is looking really good. I feel that we had a breakthrough 2 days ago in practice of just really getting back into the 100-meter shape. It's such a different race strategy, race model for 200s, and then bringing it over to the 100. And then, flip-flopping back is, of course, a challenge, but that's part of being a double champion.
I don't want to harp too much on the drama, but I would argue it's like one of the biggest storylines right now. Like everyone's talking about it, everyone's excited for it, even if like you're putting it out of your head. What's your kind of just take on it? You don't have to speak to specifics, but just in the general sense of being good for the sport.
People are talking.
Yeah. Well, you love to make people talk. Looking ahead to the World Championships, we're only, 4 weeks or something like that? Literally 4 weeks to the day. How do you kind of approach the next? Obviously, you have a week of kind of competitions here, but after that, how do you go back to the drawing board to just make sure you're ready to go?
I mean, it's going to be week by week by this point.
Yeah.
Where you have Silesia tomorrow, then we have Lausanne. I have probably maybe like 6 days, and then I'll have Zurich.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll have like a week before we head out to Tokyo.
Yeah.
So it's just adjusting as we go on.
Yeah.
I don't think to say that we have a perfect plan, I think, is ignorant to say. It always needs to be flexible. But so far, I think that what we're doing right now is going to work very well for the championships.
And from a personal standpoint, kind of an off-topic question, but you just told me you got in yesterday like 3 or 4 p.m. Like, how do you adjust to like the time zone? Like, I am jet lagged.
Well, there's a lot of secrets, but I was already in Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
I've been in Amsterdam since Tuesday, and then I flew over here, so it was only like a 2-hour flight.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of secrets. The biggest one that I'll tell anybody is when you get the opportunity on your first championship or your first diamond, if you have the finances, invest in a business class flight that leaves in the night from the U.S.
Yeah.
Because then you get in on a bed, you get to sleep for about 6 hours, you arrive around 10 a.m., and then you're already adjusted.
Yeah.
And you think that it's like, oh, it's a waste of money, I don't want to spend all that much. I'm telling you, you spend that much now, and it'll set up the rest of your career.
Okay.
Because one good diamond league will get you into every diamond league, which will get you into great championships. You go to U.S. championships, you do great, and everybody's like, oh, well, he's putting races back to back to back. You get to world championships that's in another country where you're going to have to do the same thing again, and all of a sudden you win, you get a medal. Now you have more money. Now you get to reinvest in yourself. It's all about investing in yourself. The compound interest, truly.
Yeah, I had a red eye. I was actually on the same flight as Christian Coleman coming in, and I was just thinking, dude, I don't know how these guys readjust going into the meet.
I've had really good history with being able to race in Europe. In fact, a lot of my PRs for a good while were out of the U.S. Until probably 2022. And then I had a lot of races in Oregon. I mean, my 2 fastest hundreds are both in Europe. Budapest and London. My second fastest time in Monaco in the 200. It's just something you have to learn, and you have to invest in your body and treatment.
What's your airline of choice?
Delta.
Delta?
I'm a Delta guy.
All right, well, let's get Noah Lyles' Delta sponsorship. Thanks so much for joining me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Noah.